We are live, do not
Hello.
swear.
Yes. Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. We're here. Am I doing the introductions?
You can introduce
I'll do
us.
the introductions today. So hi everyone, thanks for joining us. I'm here today with Clare Honeyfield, who is a local businesswoman and coach. And Clare has coached me as well in my mindfulness business.
And you were
It's been brilliant.
So hardworking.
I thought you were going to say I was such hard work then.
So focused.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
And got so much done in that 3 months.
Yeah.
So much done.
Well, obviously with your help and inspiration, which went a long way towards that. So thank you. Good. Yeah. Well, thank you for coming over. So we're here today just to really have a chat about mindfulness and really what brought me to mindfulness, why I got involved with mindfulness and set up this business, and a little bit about the work that I do with the mindfulness.
So when I met you, you were thinking of training as a mindfulness practitioner?
I was, yeah. I hadn't even started that process, had
I?
No. Yeah.
And you were looking around at courses?
Yeah,
and
that's it. For me, I mean, it was like a lot of people, there was like a hole in here. Something was missing in my life and I didn't even really know what it was.
Yeah.
And about 5 years ago, I probably started having anxiety and also chronic back pain.
Yeah.
And that was kind of really impacting on my work. You know, as a driving instructor, I'd be suffering a lot in the car with my neck, and when I would shoot a wedding, I'd be in pain.
Because you're also a photographer.
Yes, that's right, and videographer mainly. But yeah,
videographer.
Second shoot for John as well. We shoot weddings together quite often.
Yeah.
But I would have to medicate myself just to get through the day, you know, to shoot a wedding, with painkillers. And so I was just thinking that, you know, for me, what else can I do to sort of help deal with this?
Yeah.
So there was a couple of things I did. I went to see a lady in Stroud, Solé, who was brilliant. We did some work together, and that really went a long way towards helping me. And then I also discovered the MBSR, which is mindfulness-based stress reduction. And I did the course online with Mindfulness UK.
Yeah.
And it's kind of quite structured. You know, they take you through the process, and it involves with mindfulness. There's formal practices and informal practices.
Yeah.
So you'll do, like, every day you'll do a formal practice, and it starts here and it ends here, and you do that every day. And it's a bit like going to the gym. You know, if you want to build up your muscles at the gym, you do exercises to help those muscles.
Yeah.
And with mindfulness, with the formal practice, it's very, very similar. You're building up the parts of your brain that helps you to, you know, to sort of keep an equilibrium, which means even mind, actually, equanimity. And it just helps you to get that. So I did that course, and the 4 of us on the course, we all went on to do further training and education. So then I did a 200-hour course for Mindfulness UK, which I've now qualified in. And that course is called Integrating Mindfulness and Compassion in Professional Practice. And it just really means that you can go out there and tailor-make a course or a workshop or whatever, just to kind of suit a certain situation.
Yeah.
And for me, my interest really mainly at the moment is with regards to photography.
Yeah, which you were doing already professionally.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. So that's been, I've been doing it myself. Mindfulness photography I've been doing anyway.
Yeah.
For my own kind of benefit.
Yeah.
And I really want to just take that to other people.
Yeah.
And also with regards to my driving school, because I teach people to drive as well. It's been really, really helpful.
Yeah.
A lot, where appropriate, obviously.
Yes.
With some of my pupils. And for my own health and well-being, it's been life-changing.
Yeah.
Because the last 4 weddings I've shot, 5 weddings actually that I've shot, I haven't needed painkillers, and I don't suffer with anxiety. And if I do get any anxiety, I've got the tools now.
Yeah.
To deal with it.
Yeah.
You know? So it's made
And I think that going from needing to be on strong painkillers to be able to manage at work and still not really managing, to not needing any painkillers, and being able to actually enjoy the work, just through doing mindfulness, it's quite astonishing.
Yeah, it is,
because like in the USA at the moment, there's an opioid crisis, and you kind of wonder how much of that is around anxiety, stress, Yeah.
That's it. And, you know, for many people in the short term, painkillers or antidepressants are very, you know, of great value.
Yeah.
But for me personally, I didn't want that to be going forwards forever. I wanted to find a solution that I could go work towards for me long term. And I think a big part of that really is with regards to just the stress reduction.
Yeah.
Because all this stress and that anxiety, it manifests, doesn't it, in the body?
Yeah, because the muscles tighten up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then and then we feel really tight in our bodies and we experience pain.
Yeah, that's right. And that's exactly what was happening to me. It was, I guess, fundamentally it's muscle tension. So I'd be like this.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't even know I was doing it.
Yes.
You know, and my back would just be so sore. And I just think over time now I'm able to notice when I'm getting like that. And also, with regards to the compassionate side of things, I've got tools now to give myself compassion and self-soothing, which helps to ease all that. Yeah. And one of the funny things is, we were saying the other day, is one of the funny things I do is simply twizzle my hair, which I did as a child. You know, like you kind of forget the little things you did as a kid sometimes. Yeah. Not always appropriate. Maybe I wouldn't sit there sucking my thumb in public, but you know. But there's things you do as a child that you sometimes forget. Yeah. But actually, if you remember back to them, that can be really, really helpful. Yeah. To kind of self-soothe and give yourself self-compassion. Yeah, in a really stressful situation. Yeah. Yeah. To sort of bring yourself back to your body. Yeah. And back to the moment. That's right. And it's all to do with these chemicals in the brain. Mm-hmm. You know, we've got this, the amygdala is the area where you get the stress responses can get a bit overloaded. Yes. And so, you know, it just gets a bit too. So is that the like reptilian part of the brain? Yeah. Fight, flight, freeze. That's absolutely, yeah. And it just gets a bit too stimulated and a bit too much. So what mindfulness practices do is they calm that part of the brain down, and they also help to strengthen the other parts of the brain where you're able to make rational decisions. So you're like building up new neural pathways in the frontal cortex. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the good decision making. That's it. And you're able then to make decisions that are more in line with your true values. Yeah. And your wisdom, rather than just respond, which we all do. Yeah. You know, something happens, we're all human, but when you practice mindfulness, and like I said, it is a muscle. So the more you practice, the better at it you get. My husband will vouch for this. Yeah. Because, you know, I have my moments, I can be quite fiery when I want to be, you know. Yeah. But now I'm able to it just kind of creates a bit of space. Yeah. So now when something happens, I'm able just to kind of create that space first. Yeah. And then have my response more in line with who I am. Yes. You know, I'm not a shouty, horrible person, but when you get cross about something, we can kind of turn into all kinds of things, can't we? Yeah, and having that pause and being able to just wait and not react, but respond. That's right, yeah. And there's something really valuable, I think, about knowing what your values are as well. It helps so much in decision making. Oh yeah, 100%. It really does. Yeah, and like that's why it's interesting with the mindfulness and with the photography, because you become, for a lot of people, when you talk to them about mindfulness or meditation, a lot of people have the feeling that I can't meditate, or that's just not for me. Yeah. But if you say let's go out with a camera, they can relate to that. Yes. So for some people, it just makes it slightly more accessible and able to just be out there. And with that comes they've been able to see more clearly the external landscape, but also that then starts to develop into observing the internal landscape. Yeah. So not only are things kind of around you clearer, you're paying attention and you're getting flashes of perception around you, which makes you land fully in the moment. Yes. So you're not in the state of, we all get into sometimes with a rumination. We're in our heads and we're making a story of what we thought needed to happen yesterday or what we hope is going to happen tomorrow. Yes. Which is obviously, to some degree, we need to live in those states, but not. The trouble is, it kind of gets too much, and we end up in that state for too long, and that's when we need to strike that balance. Yes. Yeah. So that it's just really helping us to get in touch with noticing how we feel, you know, noticing the world around us and noticing how we feel, and then having the tools so that we don't try and just react with maybe some people might feel upset, or they might feel vulnerable.
Yes.
So their immediate reaction might be to want to go and get to drink, or to do something else, or to run away from it.
Yeah.
But mindfulness really helps you to sit initially with that pain, with that discomfort, and sit with it and feel it before you react with it. And then you can have some sort of conscious thought about where you're going to go with that. And you can look behind that a bit further. What's caused it, and really kind of just understanding your own responses.
So it gives you actually a lot of choices in life.
Yeah, that's right. And you start to understand other people a lot more as well. That's what I find really beneficial. Often, like, good job John's not listening, my husband. Maybe he's watching over there, I don't know. But sometimes, sometimes he'll do something or say something, and before I would have just got cross. But now I'll think, oh, he's a bit tired. I don't think he slept last night. He's obviously a bit tired. Or I might think, I can tell that's bothering him, and I can see things more clearly now, rather than just what I think it is, making it the story of what I think it is. Because we're all great at being the stars of our own show, aren't we? We're all taking centre stage. We're the star of our own show. But we're not always really aware of what's behind the scenes. As to kind of what's led to that.
It's like that thing about don't judge your front of house. Don't judge your behind scenes. Your behind scenes by someone else's front of house. We know everything that's going on with us. But we only know what someone else presents.
Absolutely. Yes, that's right.
We can't see what's going on in the background.
Yes, that's right. And I've got to say, mindfulness, not only does it help me to be compassionate with myself, more compassionate and kind to myself, but that obviously then filters out to other people. Definitely. And when you can be more compassionate, you basically, it feels better to feel compassionate.
Like as we build up an understanding of how we work and how our emotions and mind and body works together, then we can more understand how other people operate and why they might be behaving in a way that we find quite challenging.
That's right. Yes, that's absolutely right. And we've obviously got this practice here, which we can do.
I think this practice, 10,000 Things, I think for me has been so valuable. I've done it a couple of times with you. One time when I was actually really bothered by someone else's behaviour, like really bothered by it, really upset by it. And you actually said to me, well, would you like to do this exercise? And I can really remember sitting there and going through the exercise, and somehow while you were talking me through it, everything shifted and melted away. And I was just left with me, feeling okay. Amazingly. I'm not sure how that works.
I know, and it's so
like
funny.
Magic.
It was so funny at the time, wasn't it? Because Claire said, I was determined that wasn't going to work. But it worked. I was determined it wasn't going to work. So
how's this going to work?
No, it is. And a few people have found it a benefit. Somebody the other week said that, they'd had a bit of a difficult situation. I think a friend or something had upset them. But she said after doing this, she was able to just step back and see that maybe actually perhaps it wasn't what she perceived the friend to have done. It might have just been how she viewed the situation. So she was able just to create a bit more space, just to kind of maybe see an alternative. It wasn't so much set in stone as to how she thought that situation was. It's like, okay, maybe this is an alternative to how that might have been, maybe there's other aspects to this situation that maybe I could examine a bit further, So
it should be taught in schools.
Do you know what? I absolutely agree. And there is talk that it is going to be moving into mainstream education, but it's like everything is the funding. It depends on who's paying for what and as what priority they put on it. But I just think it is a priority because it's not until, we all know at the moment there's so many people out there suffering with forms of anxiety and depression, and if they can teach this in schools at an early age, it's going to give children the tools to then go forwards in life, and really help them to manage in all other areas of their lives. So.
And you've got a workshop coming up.
I do have a workshop coming up. I've got a mindfulness photography workshop coming up actually on February the 9th at the Matara Centre, which is beautiful. Stunning.
I've been to a couple couple of events there.
Yeah,
absolutely beautiful.
And it's just got such a lovely feel to it as well. So it's going to be really, really lovely. And that's just really going to help us to, just to help us to explore the richness in life. And to be honest, it doesn't even really matter if you consider yourself not to be a photographer. It's just going to be using the phone.
Yes.
Because it's with mindfulness, it's really about non-judgment. It's not about looking for a pretty picture or looking for something that you think is going to make a nice picture.
Yeah.
It's about having a flash of perception.
Yeah.
Noticing something and then looking beyond what that flash was. So a good example would be if we're walking down the road talking to a friend and we saw a red light, instinctively we just stop because red means stop, but we wouldn't necessarily look at the light in any detail.
Yeah.
But if you're an alien being down to earth for the first time, you'd never seen a red light and the red light flash, you go, wow, that was a red light. Wow. Well, you wouldn't even know it was red, but you'd see the colour, you'd see it was bright, you'd see it was shining, you'd see all the facets of light, in the bulb, and kind of that's how what mindfulness and photography, it helps you to develop that. It helps you to develop that ability to look a little bit further. Yeah,
beyond our preconceptions.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And also, and then that starts to help. It's like a tool, really. It helps you just to kind of access that way of being. And then you can practice mindfulness photography without a camera. You don't need a camera to do it. What I think the good thing is for me is I live where I live. It's not particularly pretty.
Yes.
I walk the dog around here all the time. And I used to get so bored. I'd be like, oh, this is so boring. But I never get bored now. And every day I think, surely that's it now. I must have seen everything. I must have seen everything around here. Every single day I go out with the intention to pay attention.
Yes.
So I've got my camera, and for me it's like a tool to kind of facilitate that I do that. It's like a practice for me, I guess.
Yes.
So I notice stuff still all the time. People must think I'm a bit, it's like, there's that crazy lady again. I'm
taking photos.
I'm kind of like crouching down taking random pictures, but I've kind of gone past Kevin now, I was in Tesco's the other day, looking up. It's quite funny actually, because I looked up into the atrium. And it was amazing. I looked, I thought, oh wow, I was in the queue. There's nothing particularly going on. I thought, just be mindful, stand in the queue, just accept kind of there's a queue. So I was looking up, and it was, there was reflection, there was colours. There was all like the struts of the metal, and it was kind of, I liked it. So I was there kind of taking a picture, and I showed the lady on the till. I was like, oh look, that's up there. She went, oh, did you mean to take it? I went, yeah, I meant to take it. I think she thought I'd just gone, oh, whoops, accidentally took a picture.
Taking a picture.
So it's quite funny, But that's the sort of thing I do. But when you notice things like that, it makes you more appreciative.
Yes.
And now, because I appreciate the area that I live in and I can see things to appreciate, it makes me feel better.
Yes.
So even if it's a day that isn't particularly great, the weather might not be great, I may not be feeling great, but I can find something good. In fact, somebody made a quote the other day, and I said, I'm gonna nick that quote. And she said, there may not be good. So every day may not be good, but there is good in every day.
Yes.
And I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is good in every day.
But it's taking the time to go out and notice it.
Yeah.
And when you notice it, it just kind of makes you feel more appreciative.
Yes.
And when you appreciate things, it just feels better.
Yeah. And most people do have a camera phone now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it's not really about getting a great picture particularly.
Yeah.
If you get something nice, that's lovely, obviously. But it's more about just using that as a tool to help you to explore that a bit more. So you might see something and go, oh, that's interesting. You might think, what's it look like from underneath? Take a picture. What's it look like from above? From the sky, or you might the sky's going to change every day, or from the side, and you kind of just explore, and then you start seeing it in a way that maybe you've never looked at it before.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it is quite funny, really. I was taking pictures of the dog waste bin.
So good.
And I know there's many people thinking, really, Sandra, that's a bit too far. But to me, it went beyond being a dog waste bin.
Yeah.
And then it was abstract art. It was reds and silvers and lines and
light and dark.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't see it as because the thing is, we label things. It is a dog waste bin. It's got the label.
Yeah.
But then when you start to really look beyond that, it goes beyond the label.
Yeah.
And it's kind of.
I like the pictures of like double yellow lines and drain covers.
Yeah, I'm very urban.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's where you live.
That's right. I mean, I love to be out in nature, and I have done some walks and done other things with people out in the countryside, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
But for myself and many people, it's just not always that accessible.
Yes.
You know, midweek,
Yeah.
you know, I'm in town and that's not so accessible for me. But I can find the beauty in the mundane. Really.
Yeah. So before we do the exercise, if people are interested in attending your workshop,
yeah, thank you.
Should we put a link in the comments afterwards?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, we'll do that. So yeah, okay. So just like I'm going to read this. This meditation is called 10,000 Things, and it's based on a meditation by Rick Hanson from the book Buddha's Brain. Okay, so I'm just going to take a sip of my water. Excuse me.
So we have to find a comfortable sitting position. Preferably
Absolutely.
close your eyes.
Yeah, but if that's comfortable. Yeah, I'm just going to read this through just to kind of cover all bases, really.
Yeah.
Okay. So this exercise helps us look at how we attribute intentions to other people when maybe they're not really that interested in anything that we're doing, that they're just suffering themselves and we happen to get in the way. I'm going to read the practice, and what I'd like you to invite you to do is settle yourself down a little bit, and that might mean finding an upright or dignified posture and closing your eyes if you feel comfortable to do that. Taking your time to steady your mind and feel the natural rhythm of your breath. So this practice involves thinking about an occasion where someone has wronged you recently. And what I'd like to invite you to do is to not think of one that's too emotionally charged or a big event for today's practice. So as you settle yourself down, just start thinking about something over the last week or two that you can think about as we go through this exercise. And once you've picked your situation in which you feel someone has wronged you, I'd like you to be mindful of this person, especially the feelings or sensations associated with thinking about the event. Sensing into your reactions and scanning yourself for any ill will. And now we're going to take some time to reflect on the various causes, the 10,000 things that have led this person to act in the way that they have. Imagine this person being born, a tiny baby entering the world. Consider their parents in light of whatever you know or can reasonably guess about them. Consider too the factors that might have shaped their lives. Consider the realities of their life, their race, their class, their job, responsibilities, and daily stresses. Then consider this person as a child growing up. Consider their mental processes, their personality, their values, fears, hot buttons, their hopes and dreams. Consider what you know or can imagine about their childhood, and consider major events in their life as an adult. Reflect on historical events and other upstream forces that have formed the river of causes flowing through their lives today. Now consider their age, gender, innate temperament or intelligence, and any other biological factors affecting them, like pain. I'd like to invite you to look again inside of yourself. Do you feel any differently about them now? Do you feel any differently about yourself? And you can wish yourself peace. All you can do is what you do. Others are going to do whatever they do, and realistically sometimes it will be great. Many people disappoint. They've got a million things swirling around in their head. Life's been tough. There were issues in their childhood. Their ethics are fuzzy. Their thinking is clouded. It's the real world, and it's never going to be perfect. We need to find peace in our own hearts, not out there in the world. A peace that comes from keeping eyes and hearts open, doing what one can, and letting go along the way. In the garden of your life, you have to pull some weeds for sure, but mainly focus on planting flowers. Thank you.
Love it. Every time. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's good, brilliant. It is helpful. You do. It's interesting, like you say. In my experience, I imagine, you know, all those feelings. I just find they kind of, there's a meltiness.
That's exactly how I would describe it.
A word.
Yeah, meltiness.
a meltiness.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's like everything just dissipates.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, it is helpful because it's basically just saying that it just enables you to see behind again and understand often. And this has really helped me with my job, particularly when I'm teaching people to drive.
Yes.
You know, people behave in ways that are quite unacceptable.
Other drivers
some of the time. And it's easy to take that very personally and get quite upset.
Yeah.
But really, I've learned that it's got nothing to do with me.
Yes.
And it's got nothing to do with my pupil.
Yes.
It's got everything to do with how they're feeling in here.
Yes.
And then that gives me compassion to think, oh, they're obviously having a really bad day.
Yeah.
Poor them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm human.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it's easy. We notice things are still going to upset us.
Yes.
But it's noticing that response, whether it's going to be a positive response, a neutral response, or a negative response.
Yeah.
But it's noticing that response, and then having the time to see how that, you know, what is behind that.
Yes.
And then having the self-compassion. And for me, it's the twiddly hair. You know, I'm like, oh, that's a bit stressful. Twiddle, twiddle, twiddle. And I'm like, oh, because my parasympathetic, by doing this, my parasympathetic nervous system is being calmed down.
Yeah,
my brain is responding. You know, and it could be anything. And when you get to know about this, it's kind of funny because when you see people talking in public, if they get kind of feeling a bit uncomfortable, somebody asks them an awkward question, you'll see them doing self-soothing.
Stroking their hands.
Stroking their hand. Some people stroke their earlobe.
Yeah.
You know, and it's interesting when you get to know people what those things are that they do, because then you can see how they're feeling. You might notice somebody doing that. In fact, my friend said her daughter rubs her earlobe when she's feeling a bit vulnerable. Yeah. But that's helpful for my friend to know that, because she'll see her and think, oh, she's obviously feeling a bit uncertain about that. So it's body language, isn't it?
That's another really good point. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been.
So does anyone want to ask any questions of Sandra?
Oh, hello, Dweeta. Hi. I met Dweeta on Sunday. Hi, Kath. Oh, thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yeah, if you want to ask any questions, just drop your questions in the comments. And even if you're watching on replay, just write #replay, and then drop any questions in that you'd like Sandra to answer. And we'll put a link in the comments for the event at the Matara Centre. Lovely. Which is up to A46.
It's over towards Tetbury. It's Kingscote, and it's beautiful. And the workshop is from 10:30 till 4 on Sunday the 9th. And we've just got a load of kind of assignments. It's really nothing taxing on the brain.
Relaxation.
It's easy. It's relaxing. You don't have to be a great photographer. It's really not about that, especially if you enjoy taking pictures. Yeah, you know, it's going to appeal. But it's just kind of getting out there and just noticing the richness, and there is so much up there to look at, and just and doing some different assignments and different exercises to explore how we see things and how we can sort of open those flashes of perception and develop those flashes of perception. So we've got a few things we can play around with. It's going to be,
and there are limited places on the course, so do get in touch if you'd like to reserve your place.
Yes, thank you.
So thank you very much, Sandra.
Thank you very much, Claire. I so feel like speed dating. We're just kind of like cuddled up at the end of the
We should start a speed dating thing.
Might not like that.
Might be my next thing. Okay.
Bye everyone. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye. Bye.